family. I love the family in my house. You know what? The family fucked my husband.
Hello, babes. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new, welcome. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about my girl Teri Joseph in the movie Soul Food. So let's get into it. Now, y'all, listen, I haven't watched this movie in years because although I love the cast, this movie glorifies a lot of struggle and toxic family dynamics that I just can't get with. And the fact that there are families out there like this and worse is just heartbreaking. But today I'm going to be diving into the character Miss Teri Joseph, whom I've sided with since the first time I saw this movie. So Soul Food is about a family that comes together no matter what for Sunday dinners that has been a tradition for over 40 years. However, despite that tradition, there are some family issues that seem to be swept under the rug, all to appease their mother, who believes that nothing should come in between family, no matter how bad things are. The mother falls ill and is hospitalized, which brings the family together for more than just Sunday dinner, and they must put their issues aside in order to keep the tradition of Sunday dinners, as well as decide what to do with their mother's home. I am someone who does not agree with this at all, especially when the family is toxic and doesn't care how they hurt you, but want to hide under the guise of we're family, as if being related to someone means that they have access to treat you any kind of way, but because we're family, you must accept it. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Family can get cut off too. So Teri is the oldest of the girls, and usually the first child gets the inexperienced parent who is super hard on their child because it's their first time being a parent and they are learning along the way. This is not the case for all parents, but a lot, where the first child is usually given the brunt of responsibility when their siblings are born, becoming the third parent, taking on a lot of responsibility and don't get to just be a child and enjoy their childhood. Which brings us to Teri. She is the oldest and is constantly having to carry the load of her sisters, even in their big age. Now, some may not like this because they probably love the mother. However, she is a pick-me. So Mama Joe is a typical old pick-me who believes that it doesn't matter what a man does, as long as you have a man, you should be happy and be a servant to him. You know, the stay with that good-for-nothing man. He pays the bills. And she set no good example for her daughters with her marriage to their father. While he was out gambling and put them in debt and in danger, because when you have a gambling problem, more than likely you owe people thousands of dollars. And their mother had to go out working to pay off their father's debt that almost made them lose their home.
My husband was gambling, and yeah, he was bad at it. In fact, we almost lost this house. But I worked on my hands and knees, cleaning up after white folks, taking in laundry. See, you do what you have to do to stay strong, save the family, even if you stumble trying.
So in the mind of their mother, she believed as long as you have a man, you stick beside him, which is so harmful and damaging because you teach your daughters to put their feelings and themselves last, and that is the reason why so many women are in abusive relationships and marriages. Teri was constantly given to her family as though she was JP Morgan for all of their needs. Which brings us to the first scene of the movie, Bird's wedding to her bum of a husband who not only couldn't find a job, but was living in the house that Teri was paying the bills for. Teri paid for the entire wedding, which is absurd to me because she's not your parent and it's not your parents paying for your wedding, but your sister? Baby, if that was me, they would have had that wedding in the parking lot of McDonald's.
See, that's what she get, dragging somebody in who ain't got nothing and putting him off on family.
You're talking about family, putting them off on me. I'm the one who paid for this wedding.
Teri, why you always gotta let everybody know you pay for everything?
Yes, I do.
Also, giving her a loan to open up her shop, which really wasn't a loan. It was basically Teri opening up her wallet yet again, basically free money, when she is fully capable of getting a job and pursuing her dream, which was to open up a shop. However, that is not the responsibility of your sister. Bird irritated me so much in this movie, but not more than Maxine, who we'll get to in a bit. Bird also had the audacity to be upset that her sister called in a favor to release her red flag of a husband because she made a mistake, which I truly don't believe she really made a mistake, because you went in her shop, broke the entire glass, you grabbed her aggressively and pulled her into a room where no one could see her or what was going on. So all her sister and staff are hearing is screaming, crying, and the breaking of things. What else is your sister supposed to expect is happening? Lem had anger issues and gave undercover abuse. I don't care how much apologizing he did, those types always apologize and then go further with their behavior every time because you constantly take them back. Yes, she went behind his back to get him a job with her ex and accepted gifts from her ex, which was disrespectful, yes. But I also feel like Lem had no business getting married when he had absolutely nothing to offer. Like zero, zilch, nada.
Insufficient funds, you ain't got no money.
He slams Bird up against the wall, and it's so funny how men always say women are emotional and neglect the fact that, my dear, anger is also an emotion, and they act on that emotion very frequently, as we have been seeing on the news and as we've known from in the past, and lose control of their tempers, especially when they cannot have their way. Now, not all men obviously, but anger is an emotion much like the others. We learned this in preschool. Who was to say the next time he got angry that he wouldn't cause harm to her or smack her? No one knew. He was trash, and Teri did what any older sister or family member would do, and that is call your father, brothers, cousins, or uncles for a man who put his hands on you so that he gets dealt with. And this man, who is an entire felon, was carrying a gun. Now, sure, maybe you needed to use it for self-defense. How is anyone supposed to know? But the fact that you are a felon carrying around a gun says a lot. But Teri lets them know that she called in a favor, and Captain Angry Bird gets upset. I mean, there's really no surprise there.
Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise.
And her dusty sister comes for her and embarrasses her at the table about her husband sleeping with Faith.
Now you can spend some time and take care of your pregnant wife.
You know what, Teri? You need to mind your own damn business, all right? Did nobody ask you for your help? You need to be worrying about your husband and why he's sleeping with her.
Now listen, I would have flung that gravy bowl at her head and I would have said, bet, stay out of your business, right? Speaking of business, that is mine because my money is my business. I want my money back for that salon in 3 months. And if not, I'll see you in court. Also, this house you're able to stay in because of me and the payments that I make. You make those payments now, Love Muffin. And the reason she was so quick to throw that in her sister's face is because she was jealous of her sister. There are people out there who have this notion that if a person has a certain amount of success, or they look at that person as the person thinking that they're better than them when really it's just their insecurity, so they can't wait to pounce on one little thing that happens in your life, one little mishap, because they're so envious, jealous, and are filled with bitterness and resentment for the fact that you have your life together and they don't. And that was what her sister was. She couldn't wait to say that to Teri because she was jealous of her, just like the rest of her low down, no good for nothing family. They were all mad that they were stuck in the positions that they were and that she had excelled in life. And this is why you need to cut family members off, because they will drag you down. And if they can't drag you down, they will try to tear you down any and every way they can anytime you are around them. If you bettered yourself and made something out of your life, they'll bring up things that happened when you were 15, 14, a teenager, or your early 20s, and mistakes that you've made, because that's the only thing that they hold on to, because they feel it's their way of humbling you to try to bring you back down to ground or try to make you feel bad about yourself. However, don't ever feel bad about overcoming the things that you've overcome. Bird, quite frankly, was the embodiment of her nickname. a bird. I feel like favoritism amongst the girls brought about this dynamic with each other. Although we don't really see the backstory of how they grew up together from childhood, I do believe it caused the sisters to constantly go at each other, and not even so much with the other sisters, but it was like they would all gang up on Teri because it was how they saw their mother treat her and how no one ever had her back, including their raggedy mother. And because she was the quote-unquote strong one, they didn't care about her feelings. They dismissed all of her concerns. They treated her like she wasn't even a part of the family. She was basically the black sheep, who they treated as though she was an outsider. Not once did we see anyone speak up for Teri. Teri was hardened because of all that she had dealt with within her family. From her sister sleeping with her boyfriend, who she was in love with, and then going on to marry and have children with that same man. I said, child, a mess.
She's such a monster full of trash.
So not only was she betrayed by her low down, desperate sister, but she also had to look in the face of a man who caused her heartbreak every single time she saw her sister, because this man was always around and now a part of their family. He was a shameless, deplorable piece of garbage who had no remorse for what he caused and carried on as if her resentment wasn't warranted. How dare you lollygag in her mother's house every Sunday and pretend as though you weren't a part of the reason they had the relationship that they had. Then having the entire family gang up on you anytime you bring up a valid point. Maybe she wasn't always right, and maybe her way of saying things could be a bit harsh. But to have your entire family constantly go against you every single time would turn anyone bitter or hard, especially when you're always there for them and they use you and drain you for all they can get from you. Like that abominable cousin of hers who she opens the door for her to stay at her place, welcomes her into her home while no one else at the table would, because they all knew what she was about. Because you know, the premise of the movie is family.
Fuck the family!
And this little raggedy vagabond goes and sleeps with her husband, and the both of these dirtbags have the nerve to act as though nothing happened and comes to the celebration or the party. I forget who the party was for, but they come to this party and act as though nothing happened. Baby, Teri is good, because the way I would have went in that house like Diamond from Players Club when her cousin slept with her boyfriend. Faith was a garbage human, and the only reason why she turned on the waterworks was because she got caught and was scared Teri was going to get the slicing and dicing. The fact that her husband was so much of a weak coward and wanted his wife to support him going into the music, that he goes and sleeps with Faith, is repulsive. I mean, something that takes years to actually make a real profit off of. Of course, she's going to have questions and worry about finances. When you're leaving your stable 6-figure job and then you're taking money out of your joint account and not even having a conversation with your wife about it, this will be cause for concern in any marriage. And then having the audacity to get hostile with her and all big and puffing up his chest when she questions you about it. Is this not a marriage? You take out $5,000, not 50 or 500. That is something that you discuss with your spouse. And people like to pretend as though finances aren't a big deal when they are. Sorry, but they are. You need money for a home. You need money to eat, for a car, for a comfortable life, for clothes. You need money. We would all like to live in a fairy tale world where you didn't and you get things for free, but that is not the case. So the fact that he couldn't understand where Teri was coming from was baffling. But you know what? He was trash and waiting to exhale, so we shouldn't have expected much from him in this movie.
That is funny.
How do you not see that big of a career change being an issue? Now, I'm not saying don't pursue your dreams, but you need to have a solid plan and be realistic. She was surrounded by nothing but vultures who used and took everything they could get from her. And anytime she would put her foot down, they would show their true colors, like most users do. It was like they wanted her to feel bad for being financially stable and successful. They were jealous of her success and the fact that she didn't need the help of anyone while they constantly held their hands out. This was an extremely toxic, conniving, manipulative family that did not mean Teri well. Teri wasn't allowed to have feelings or emotions and had to always give into these leashes. Even when that filthy scoundrel of a husband, Miles, slept with Faith, they couldn't have her back. And this man was still allowed to come to family dinners after what he did. My God, where is the unity with your sister? But we know Maxine couldn't speak up too much because she was just as low down and rotten as Faith.
We see each other. We see each other.
When you have a toxic family like this, not only does it affect your mental health, but your overall health. So many women have health issues from things that have taken place within their childhood and trauma that wasn't resolved. And when you don't have an outlet like therapy and or a supportive family, those things take a toll on your overall health, be it mental, physical, or emotional. I wanted Teri to move away from her family, sell the house, or leave it to her sisters to deal with, and rid herself from the drama and toxicity, stress, and depression that came with being a part of such a draining group of people. But movies like this love to villainize Black women who are successful. There was always this stereotype of giving the character an attitude problem or being angry and making her seem arrogant because she's proud of the things that she has achieved, because those around her didn't achieve what she did and they call them bougie or uptight, while also begging for that same uptight, bougie, arrogant money. They see women like this as villains because it doesn't matter what you throw at them, they get back up stronger and come back better. And let me tell you something, God will prepare a table for you in the presence of your enemies, and when the evil and wicked try to throw their daggers at you, it spins right around to them and they will constantly live in misery and wallow in bitterness because God don't bless mess. Teri didn't deserve what her family put her through. She was always there for her siblings and her mother and just her family as a whole, but she could never get that support back, not even a quarter of what she put into her family. And it was just so sad to watch because I know so many close friends who've had this experience and how much of a toll it took on them. And listen, I know cutting family off is hard for some people, especially when it's all you know, and it may sometimes take years, but when you cut those toxic people out of your life, you will notice so many areas of your life improving. And sometimes it's because those people are blocking blessings because they don't want to see you succeed. When you cut those people off, you'll notice you get that brand new house that you wanted, that job that you were eyeing, that car that you wanted. And because that dark energy, that bad energy was around you and secretly not wanting you to succeed and thrive, it blocks what you're supposed to be getting. It blocks your blessings. And once you drop that person, you notice, oh wait, I got that job that I wanted. I got that car. Look at my brand new home. And you feel free and you no longer have any stress and strife in your life. That was what Teri deserved. To be happy, she deserved happiness and someone who genuinely loved her. I would have loved it if they ended the movie off with her thriving on an island somewhere with little to no contact with her family. And with that being said, this video has come to an end. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Let me know below who are some characters you would like for me to do a deep dive on. Also, don't forget to turn on your notification bell so that you are always notified when I upload, and I will catch you guys in the next one.